CBSE, through its latest circular, has stated that the academic session 26-27 computational thinking and artificial intelligence will be introduced for classes 3 to 8. At this point, it is important to reflect on what this development actually signifies. Is it an early introduction to coding, an additional academic requirement, or a broader shift in the philosophy of school education? The clarification provided in the guidelines indicates that this is not being introduced as a separate subject, but as an integrated component within the existing curriculum, aligned with the vision of National Education Policy 2020 and competency-based learning. The requirement for introducing computational thinking and AI at the school level emerges from the rapidly evolving nature of the global and digital landscape. Today's learners are growing up in an environment shaped by data, automation, and intelligent systems. In such a context, the ability to merely use technology is no longer sufficient. There is an increasing need for students to understand how technology functions, how decisions are influenced by data, and how problems can be approached in a structured and logical manner. The shift necessitates the development of higher order cognitive skills such as analysis, reasoning, and problem solving from the early years of school. Closely linked to this requirement is the broader vision underpinning this initiative. The intent is not to produce early specialists in coding or artificial intelligence, but to nurture learners who are capable of thinking systematically, making informed decisions, and engaging with technology in a responsible and ethical manner. This reflects a transition from content-driven instructions to skill-oriented learning, where emphasis is placed on developing competencies that are transferable across disciplines and applicable in real-life contexts too. At the level of classes 3 to 5, the emphasis will remain on foundational competencies such as pattern recognition, sequencing, logical structuring, and basic problem solving. Much of this learning will take place through activity-based and unplugged methods, ensuring that the focus remains on the development of thinking processes rather than on the use of digital devices. As students progress to class 6 to 8, this foundation will be extended to include introductory exposure to computational concepts and artificial intelligence. Learners may begin to engage with basic coding, logic, understanding the role of data, and explore how systems process inputs to generate outputs. Additionally, attention will be given to the ethical and responsible use of AI, which is increasingly relevant in the present context. From an implementation perspective, the integration model forms the core of this initiative. CT and AI are not to be treated as standalone subjects. Instead, they are to be embedded within existing disciplines. Logical reasoning in mathematics, data handling in science, structured expression in languages, and problem-solving approaches in social science collectively contribute to the development of these competencies. In this manner, the curriculum does not expand in volume but evolves in its pedagogical approach. This transition also calls for a shift in classroom practices towards activity-based, inquiry-driven, and project-based learning. Students will be encouraged to engage with real-life situations, analyze problems, and propose solutions, thereby strengthening both conceptual understanding and higher-order thinking skills. Assessment practices will correspondingly emphasize formative methods such as observation, participation, and project work, focusing on the learning process rather than rote outcomes. Overall, this initiative represents a significant step towards aligning school education with contemporary needs. By focusing on the development of structured thinking, problem-solving ability, and responsible engagement with technology. It seeks to prepare learners not only for academic progression but also for meaningful participation in an increasingly complex and technology driven world.